Hey guys, what's going on? So this is something I wanted to go over because I get a lot of questions about this on a daily basis, especially in our community. And I thought I would just make a video covering what I do specifically. Again, there's so many methods of running Facebook ads and what's right and what's wrong, but I'm going to show you what I do specifically when it comes to utilizing dynamic creative or not utilizing dynamic creative. So first, let's go ahead and dive in, and I'll go over my methodology of creating ads and running them. So the first thing I would do is I would go into obviously we want to generate leads, so we're going to select leads as a priority, and then manual leads campaign. Now this is methodology number one, and then I'm going to go into the dynamic creative side of things after I just show you what my baseline methodology is. I always use ad set budget optimization. So this Advantage campaign budget, I never turn this on. The reason why is what this is doing, whenever you turn this on, what it's going to do, regardless of how many ad sets you have or how many ads that you have, it is going to disperse your, let's say, $20, $50, $100, doesn't matter, your daily budget across all ad sets, and it's going to let Facebook decide how it spends your money. Now, in some cases, it could probably do a good job. Because of my level of understanding that I have of Facebook ads and how they work, I don't like using it. Because if you have multiple different ad sets, let's say, for example, testing... you're the only one that knows what you're testing, right? So if you're testing multiple different variables, let's say different audiences or different areas, and you're doing it for specific reasons, you might not want your budget to be allocated however Facebook wants to allocate it once you launch the campaign, right? Maybe you want to have a larger budget on one ad set or a smaller budget on a different one, or maybe you want to make sure that they stay the same across the board. You want every ad set to get have an equal playing field, and you want to be $50 across the board, right? 50 for each ad set. For whatever reason, I never turn this on. I always name my campaigns, but for this, let's just call it campaign because we're not going to get too creative here. Then I go to the next stage. All right, so I love using instant forms. I haven't dabbled too much with messenger landing pages. It depends on exactly what you're running, if you're running a webinar or if you have a VSL, etc. But instant forms, it has the best feedback loop for collecting demographic information and finding your target audience. So most of the time I'm going to use instant forms. Select the page you're going to run it from. You select your budget at the ad set level, and at the ad set level is when you're going to be able to select certain criteria for where you want to target, right? So depending on the type of business that you own, maybe you want to target the entire United States. Maybe you want to target United States, Canada, and the UK. Maybe you want to only target specific states. So if you're doing life insurance or insurance in general, sometimes you're registered in specific states. So you would have to select those states from the drop down. In this case, we're just going to say we have a digital online business and we're targeting United States. Also, if you have a brick and mortar, then you'd be targeting mile radius wise around your brick and mortar or maybe specific zip codes. Okay. And then as far as Advantage campaign audience, I don't typically utilize this either. I always switch to original audience. Who knows? Maybe Advantage campaign audience will get better in the future. But a lot of times with the niches that we work with, we're going to want to select age ranges, right? So for example, I'll use life insurance as an example. If you are running ads and trying to get people to opt in for an IUL, and people are looking to be their own bank or looking for a better alternative for retirement, you're probably not going to look for 18-year-olds, right? Maybe people in their higher 20s. So usually I'd probably go 29 to 60 or 65 plus, specifically for that. And that is just because, use your own knowledge base in the industry that you're working in. If it's not too age related, you might be able to use the Advantage campaign audience. Again, this is just my methodology and me giving an example. The rest of everything, I always leave broad. I don't do any detailed targeting whatsoever. The reason why is because detailed targeting is getting more and more competitive. So as you continue to get more and more specific with your detailed targeting, you start to decrease your audience size, right? So the amount of people that you can show the ad to. You also are not always right. Facebook's algorithm is good enough now where it's going to target better than you ever will. So you can keep it relatively broad, right? Like, so for example, if I do small business owners based on activities, so small business owners behaviors, I still have an estimated audience size of 41 million people. Now, would I even do this? No, I think the more broad, the better, because Facebook, again, is, as long as your ad creatives are made well, I think Facebook is going to do a better job at learning and understanding the behavior on the ad. So people who are clicking the ad, opening up the lead form, actually submitting the lead form, and then retargeting the people who match the demographics of the people who are spending the most time on your ad. Facebook does a great job at that. So with this specifically, I don't like detailed targeting. Now, people can fight me in the comments. I don't really care. If you're getting good results with your ads, I think that's great. I want all of us to win. This is how I've got it to work best for me. And I think that my ads outperform most people. If anyone wants to have a competition, that would be awesome. Let's do it. I typically check this off too. Not that it matters, because I keep mine relatively broad anyway. But yeah, let's keep moving forward. Now, something newer is advantage placements as well. I think in the last probably 6 months, what I used to do was manual placements, and I would only select Facebook feeds, Instagram feeds, stories, and reels. Now I'm seeing that I'm getting the same results regardless of how many times I test it if I use advantage placements. So this is where Facebook is kind of learning and understanding the behavior of people on your ad based on where it's placed. So for example, if it's getting the most traction or action when it's placed on feeds, then Facebook is algorithmically going to cater your ad and show it more on feeds or reels or, whatever. Just depends on where your target audience is there. So I've been using this more lately, and it's been working relatively well. Now, this is the bulk of what we're going to go over. So typically how I run the actual ads. So I usually test a couple different ad copies and a couple different headlines, but the most important thing is going to be the image. So the order at which people look at the ad. Image is going to be the first thing that they see. That is going to be the determining factor of whether or not they stay on your ad and they find it meaningful enough for them to be, for the ad to be something for them. So picture is going to be most important. Make sure your picture is very obvious to what you're offering and that it's relatively not like this one. You want it to be a little bit more, let's say, this is a bath remodeling example account, I believe, that I'm using. So let's use one of the ads that we actually had created in this account. So for example, you know exactly what is going on in this ad right when you see it, and you know whether or not this is something that you're looking for. And that's kind of how the algorithm learns who is enjoying their ad or what type of demographics of people are enjoying their ad. So this is going to be the most important. Number 2 is going to be the ad copy. So the primary text, whatever this first headline is up here. So if I keep typing here, for example, there's only so much that you can see before it says read more or see more, right? So whatever is viewable at the top is going to be the second most important thing. You want the very first paragraph of your primary text to be super flashy and to get people's attention. And then the last and least important thing, but still important, is the headline. So whatever you would like to put here. So order of priority on what needs to be the most catchy is picture number 1, primary text first, paragraph 2, and then it's going to be this one here. And then what I would do is I would create my lead form, right? Ask a couple of questions, get them to submit their information. I always redirect them to a calendar because that's when we get the most bookings and that's when we convert the most deals. And then let's number this. So we're going to number this, number 1. Then what I would do is I would test the creatives normally, right? And I would duplicate it, let's say 4 times. So we're testing 4 different creatives here. And you want to test one variable, and 99.9% of the time I test the creative itself. Usually I can, because it's the most important thing in my opinion, and usually the ad copy I can get down pretty well. So I would just test 4 different creatives and see which one is going to perform best. And once you launch all of these at once, I would measure the analytics because you can view them like this. So I'd measure the analytics, the cost per lead, the click-through rate, the cost per link click, based on each one, and Facebook will naturally start to spend your budget accordingly based on which ad is performing best, right? So if this creative is performing better, for example, and let's just pretend that these are all different. Let's say ad number 4 is performing better than the rest. It will naturally allocate the most times. Sometimes it doesn't do it fully. This is why you want to make sure you're keeping an eye on all of these metrics, but it will allocate the majority of the budget towards what is performing best, or maybe the 1, 2, or 3 ads that are performing better than the rest. And then I would go in here and keep an eye on that. And if I see numbers start climbing without any leads coming in or with bad numbers, then I will just start dialing it down and turning off the underperforming ads. Okay, so this is normally how I do it. Now, when would you use this? Let's go ahead and duplicate this. So we're going to call this one the normal setup. Getting really creative here with names. And then we're going to duplicate this and we're going to call it dynamic creative. All right. So here is what we're going to do. I'm going to go back out of here. We're going to click on dynamic creative. I am going to start from scratch. Great. Hold on. Give me 1 second. And all right. So we're going to start with scratch and we're just going to use one ad here. So we have one ad set called dynamic creative. And we're just going to be using one ad. Now let's go into the ad set level, right? So it goes campaign, ad set, and then the ads are within the ad set. So we have 2 ad sets. We have one ad set, which is normal setup, has multiple ads in there. And then right now, at the moment, we just have one ad under the dynamic creative ad set. So we're going to scroll down and you're going to see dynamic creative here. We're going to turn this on. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to give you the ability to test multiple different creative variables, right? So the images, you can test multiple different images, but under one ad, which means instead of you really having the control or power over, the multiple different ads underneath one ad set and you turning them off and turning them on, you're giving Facebook the ability to do this for you. Now, I'll give you an example. So if you go to the media, and let's say we're selecting images, and I have multiple different ads I'm going to be using here, right? So now, instead of having them all separate, all the ads separate, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, it's all underneath one ad as dynamic creative. So what it's going to do is this ad is going to be running on the platform, and Facebook is going to cycle and show. So it'll show an ad like this, and then it'll show an ad like this, and it'll show all the ads in its own way. I don't really know if there's if it does it in a round robin fashion or whatever, but it's going to measure which ad is getting the most clicks, and then it will naturally start to show those ads more than the other ones that are underperforming. So it does it naturally on its own. Now, typically, I would run them how we have the normal setup. The only scenario in which I would use a dynamic creative, where you're basically, again, you're using the Facebook algorithm and you're keeping it under one ad to cycle between all of the creatives that you want to test and use to see which one is going to perform better, and you're leaving it in Facebook's hands. The only scenario is if you are working in an industry, and this is actually a perfect example, where the cost per lead is generally higher, and the person's budget doesn't match that. So let's say, for example, bath remodeling. The cost per lead is generally somewhere between, depending on where you are, somewhere between $40 to $150 to $200 per lead, which is higher than most industries. Now, again, that can be higher or lower, and it also depends on the type of offers that you're running, right? A lot of people run giveaways, which is a lower, like a free bathroom giveaway, but nobody actually does that, so it's more of a bait and switch. So it's a lower cost per lead, but the lead quality sucks. So you can get, $10 leads with the giveaway, but if you're running an actual non-bait and switch ad that's going to convert, it's going to be somewhere between 40 to 150, depending on where you are, in my opinion. So let's say you have a client that you've signed up, or let's say you are someone who works in one of these industries, and it's generally supposed to be a higher cost per lead, but you only have a budget of $1,000 per month with $30 per day, right? Which means you're going to have to go a few days or a couple of days to figure out which ad is performing best if you set it up normally. And the problem is if you're only spending $30 a day across multiple different ads, and one of these ads, even if it performs really well, is going to have to spend somewhere between $50 to $150 before it gets enough clicks or even one lead, then you're not, Facebook doesn't really have the ability to collect the demographic data or the behavior on the ads fast enough to understand what demographic is most attracted to your ad and then allocate the budget accordingly because it's moving too slow, if that makes sense. So in this scenario, what you would do, or what I would do, is I would go for dynamic creative and test all of them under one ad and kind of let Facebook do its thing because it will figure it out faster in this scenario. Facebook will understand, oh, more people are clicking on this ad than the others. And it will automatically start allocating the budget towards this even earlier than it would if you set them up separately because you're kind of sharing the budget. You're still sharing the budget here, but it's doing it in a slightly different way because you're testing all in one ad. And I think, from my understanding, I think Facebook makes decisions a little bit quicker in when it's set up in dynamic creative. So higher cost per lead, industries that are higher cost per lead. And let's say you don't necessarily have the budget to work. So if you had $100 per day, you probably could test, 3 creatives this way and get it to perform a little bit better. But if you are spending with a lower budget or you have a smaller budget that doesn't match up to the industry standard cost per lead, I would test it this way. And I've done it every single time we've onboarded a client that has a generally higher cost per lead or is in one of those industries, and it performs better every single time. And it's actually saved, the dynamic creatives have saved me in these types of situations where I have not been able to get them leads. And then I switched up my game plan. And finally I was able to, let's see, on this campaign specifically, let's say, so we were getting $43 leads, with dynamic creative. And when you're viewing these, so when you're running a dynamic creative, so looks like we tested 3 creatives here. You can pull this up and you can go to breakdown and you can look at which creative was generating the most leads. So in this case, it was the big yellow writing, right? So this ad right here. So hopefully this was helpful. Again, any industries that have a generally higher cost per lead and you don't have the budget that really matches that cost per lead, this is mainly probably going to be for agencies, but I think it will be applicable to business owners that are in these industries as well, especially if you're just starting out with Facebook ads and you're new to it. I think this is the best way to go for these types of industries. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments.